Hi there. In this video I'm going to show you how you can use DNA testing, also known as genetic testing, to improve your health and where DNA testing results are lacking. As I'm sure you've heard, the genomic revolution has promised personalized medicine for all of us. Many DNA testing companies claim that their tests can tell you whether you should be training like Arnold Schwarzenegger or a Boston marathoner, eating like a T-Rex or a panda, or drink caffeine like a college student cramming for a final. While some of these claims have scientific merit, many do not. Stick around to see where DNA testing results can and can't help us improve our health. First, you should know that there are many genetic tests on the market that can provide insights into your health based on your genome. The problem is that they differ widely in how much information they provide, their cost, privacy, and quality of data. Most DNA tests, such as 23andMe and DNAfit, use DNA genotyping technology, specifically microarrays, that only look at less than 0.02% of your genome. That's like trying to fully understand the complexity of the movie Memento by only watching 2 minutes and 20 seconds of the movie. But more recently, with the drop in cost of genetic sequencing technologies, more labs such as Circle DNA, Nebula Genomics, and Dante Labs have started to offer whole exome sequencing and whole genome sequencing. These tests are more comprehensive in reading your genome, 2% for WES and nearly 100% for WGS. So what can genetic testing tell you about your health? First, genetic testing can give you insight about the origin of your disease or risk of developing diseases. For instance, 23andMe can give you some insight about your risk of developing breast and ovarian cancers, but this information is limited since they only test for a few variants out of more than 20,000 known unique variants in the BRCA1 and BRCA2 genes. On the other hand, companies that offer WES or WGS give you a more complete picture of your disease risk since they sequence entire genes and many more of them to look for variants associated with diseases. For example, there are nearly 20 genes which when mutated are linked to hereditary breast and ovarian cancers. So what can you do with this information? You can use this information to take preventative measures such as lifestyle changes or prophylactic treatments and improve management and treatment of disease. Let's take an example. If you were to have a disease-causing variant in the BRCA1 gene, you could take several precautions to decrease your risk of developing breast and ovarian cancer, such as medications, annual screening, or removal of breasts and ovaries and fallopian tubes, like Angelina Jolie did. Genetic testing can also give you valuable information about your pharmacogenetics, which will tell you how you may respond to drugs, including how you metabolize them, their effectiveness, and any potential adverse reactions they can cause. The goal of pharmacogenetics is to provide the right drug for the right patient at the right dose. Let's look at another example. Say you have severe pain and need to take pain medication, for instance opioids. Knowing which genetic variants you have in the CYP2D6 gene could help the medical provider identify an appropriate and effective starting dose or avoid the risk of severe toxicity from codeine or tramadol. Let's take a quick pause. If this video is being helpful to you, a subscribe to our channel would mean a lot. So where do genetic tests stumble? Many genetic tests claim that your genetics can tell you which foods you should be eating, your food intolerances, how you should be training, and how long you should be sleeping for optimal health. Unfortunately, in general, these associations are based on studies with several limitations, largely because the scientific evidence is still lacking. Let's take a deeper dive. When it comes to nutrition and genetics, it is true that certain genetic changes can have a significant influence on how our bodies react to specific foods. For instance, there is strong and consistent scientific evidence linking your body's ability to break down lactose and caffeine to changes in a couple genes. The issue is that there are few examples like these with strong scientific and consistent evidence of monogenetic changes, meaning genetic changes in one gene, having significant influence on these habits/conditions. More and more studies are finding that most of these associations between genetics and these habits are complex because they are polygenic, meaning there are several genes/genomic regions involved. Equally important, the utility and applicability of most of this information is not yet known. This is essentially true across the board when it comes to genetics dictating your ideal diet, food allergies or intolerances, your training routine, or risk of injuries. For example, while genetic testing can tell you whether you have a high risk of developing osteoarthritis based on a few genetic markers, it doesn't tell you if you have other genetic markers that neutralize your risk of developing OA, or how to reduce risk through personalized lifestyle choices. Let's talk about these limitations a bit more. Limitation 1. Only looking under the lamppost. To be useful, researchers need to study the condition or habit, whether it's nutrition, wellness, or fitness, associations with your genetics in the context of your full genome, because other changes in your genome can significantly affect these relationships. Limitation 2. Lack of population diversity. Another major pitfall of these studies is that the research is mostly based on individuals of European descent. As a consequence, these associations may not hold true in individuals with other ethnic backgrounds. Needless to say, these interactions should be studied in diverse populations to see if they hold true. Limitation 3. Ignoring nature. Your environment and exposures play a major role in dictating how you should be eating, exercising, and sleeping, not just your genetics. Limitation 4. Limited utility. For the majority of habits and conditions, there is a lack of understanding of how to use genetic information to personalize our lifestyle. While knowing your genetics can be a powerful tool to improve your health and wellness, our understanding and utility of much of this information is still restricted. The truth is that while we can garner some health information from our genomes, we're still a long way away from using our genomic information to tailor some aspects of our health, such as nutrition and fitness. The good news is that science is advancing quickly, and researchers and companies are starting to integrate genetic data with other biomarkers such as epigenetics, heart rate, blood markers to optimize health. Given this, it's very likely that in the near future, personalized health or treatment plans will be created using an integrated approach that combines your unique genetic and non-genetic characteristics. If you're interested in learning more about the types of genetic tests available and the differences between them, watch this video next. If you found value in this video and you'd like to see more of this type of content, please hit the subscribe button.